What's going on, everybody? This is the Blockchain Backer, bringing you the latest cryptocurrency news and analysis. Today, the Bitcoin price chart has shuffled its way back down after yesterday's pop-up. Had a pretty uneventful weekend. Got a nice start to a Monday. Guess what? Tuesday, it's taking it all back. And we just continue ranging in here as we have for the last 29 days. So a lot of repetitive stuff. Waiting for this market to make a decision as it has still just been ranging here for the last 29 days. I put out a video last week on the things that would make me worried if prices did start to break down further, and whether or not I'd be convinced if we are heading into a much longer bear market here for Bitcoin and for the cryptocurrency market and where those levels would be at. As we've discussed, enough time has elapsed in this market for an entire bear market to have already played out in here for Bitcoin and for the cryptocurrency market. And even in a capitulation moment, we don't usually see time periods happen where we're still like capitulating in here, like in this moment here, and then we just pause out for a whole month. Typically, once we've had that happen, once you have this longer pause out in here, that's usually the completion of the move. We can look back to previous capitulations and how long they've taken to play out. Go grab the 2018 capitulation in there. Once these things have played out, how much time elapses. Usually the actual scary capitulation moment is quick, and that's really it. Go back and grab the capitulation from back in 2014. Once that happens, it's all usually pretty quick in here. So from a time perspective, looking a lot like capitulation has already happened in here, or at least some type of relief can come in here. But as we know, it's just been stuck here for 29 days and still looking awfully similar to what happened back here in this time period. And we can kind of grab that real quick and just peek at it real fast to see how much time that took. And still we're operating within that time frame in there. So yeah, still just a waiting game in here, right? Like we talked about in yesterday's video, we can see in here that we're actually as oversold as we were back at the C19 sell-off. So you can see that we've actually already gone as aggressively into selling as we did back then, with even those RSI structures looking very similar to both time periods. And while we've made more of a running flat over here on the Bitcoin price chart, over here on Grayscale, we can see that these corrections were of nearly the same size for the C19 sell-off and the current one that we have right now for Grayscale Bitcoin Trust. And like we talked about yesterday with XRP, still holding on top of this very historical weekly support and resistance level in here currently right now. And just like Bitcoin's channel, XRP has landed right here on this multi-year trend. But of course, lose this area here for the altcoin market, lose the trend for Bitcoin, and lose the support area for Ethereum, well, the picture starts getting a lot harder to paint in a bullish perspective. But still, all those levels do still hold currently right now. And we've just been kind of waiting 29 days ever since we had the Luna and Terra incident on what comes next. So still just a waiting game over here on these charts. And I don't think it's necessary to really kind of beat a dead horse talking about it over and over again. Unless these things start to actually break down, then we have something to actually talk about. I can say I'm not really impressed with the price action that we've seen so far. There haven't really been any signs of strength coming out of here just yet. Doesn't mean it can't come, but it sure isn't showing any signs of it at this point. So it's really still just a waiting game for something to come out of here to say, hey, this stuff is like broken big time, or boom, we're reversing. But the cold hard reality of it is 29 days of sideways and 29 days of waiting to see if this level is going to hold for the altcoin market cap and for Ethereum. So not much to say here on the charts, except that, hey, prices are moving down again, but still the lows from, the last 29 days are still holding. But I wanted to actually talk to you about something going on in my life. So if you've been a follower of my YouTube channel for years, you'll know that even in the best of times and in absolutely the worst of times, I will always show up. I'll always come on here, I'll record, we'll talk about it, no matter how bad it is, no matter how much everybody wants to bury their head in the sand and not look at it and say, I'll be back later. I still always show up no matter how bad things have always been out there in the market. And no doubt about it, right now is a very rough time out there in the market. And in May, I put out the most videos I've put out in a month in a long time. Still showing up, doing my best to be here, even during the toughest of times. This week is Consensus over there in Austin, Texas, from June 9th through June 12th. I have a ticket to this conference. I've even bought a hotel to be there at this conference, and I'm supposed to travel there tomorrow. However, I'm not. If you've been catching the cues that I've been leaving in my videos over the last couple of weeks, I've been like, I'm not going to make as many videos this week. I'm going to take a couple days off during the week. But still, even when price is chaotic, I come on and I make a video even though I intended to take the day off. The reality is I've been dealing with some health issues. I didn't disclose it on the YouTube channel because there's a lot of trolls out there, and this is actually the third time that I've caught it, and I've seen what has happened each time. If I reveal it that I have it, if I don't reveal it that I have it, and it's so political, I don't like to get in the middle of it. I got C19 again a couple weeks ago, and like I typically do, this is now the third time I've had it. I come onto the YouTube channel regardless of whether or not I have it or not, and I power through it, and then I go lay back down in bed and finish the rest of my day in bed, no matter what. And the same thing happened the last couple of weeks, and it was really tough with that time because the price action, the sentiment, the worry out there in the market was there. And the last thing I wanted to do was not show up, and how convenient for me to just happen to have C19 during that time period. But unfortunately, with this version of it, I have lingering issues that have been happening ever since I caught it. When I caught it back in October, pretty much beat it in a week and I was good to go. When I caught it back in December or January or whatnot, 2 days and it was gone. But this one has left me with some side effects that have been a little bit annoying. And they've been impacting my health, and I've been running on 10% energy for 2 weeks. And today, I've decided I'm going to go see a doctor because I've been holding off on it to decide whether or not I'm going to be able to attend Consensus in Austin, Texas. And I've unfortunately had to make the call to decide that I can't go and that I need to go see a doctor at this point. Many of you know that I've been sober for 9 years, and I really pay attention to my health. I actually do high-intensity interval training, and I've been doing it for years. In the last 2 weeks, I haven't been going at all, which is highly unusual for me. I usually go 5 to 6 times per week, and I haven't been going at all because I know it's dangerous for me to go based on how I've been feeling. And so while we're just sitting here waiting for this price action to do something and for us to give us a signal or a cue to say, hey, it looks like it's breaking down, or it looks like it's breaking up, and not just ranging in here, I'm going to spend this week really focusing on getting my health back because I've done everything I can within my own power to try to get it back so I could attend Consensus. And unfortunately, that didn't work. I've had family come and visit the last couple of weekends, family and friends. We've talked about it to try to figure out what could possibly be going on with me. And it's just been a head scratcher in figuring it out. And you guys don't get to hear it because I edit my videos down to remove all coughs or whenever my voice starts to drop or my throat gets all junky. That it always comes through real clear on the microphone because I do so much editing. But even editing has been a lot harder lately. So while we're still sitting here in this range and we're just kind of repeating the same things over and over again, and now that I've had to make this call to say that I'm not going to Consensus and I'm going to go to a doctor, I'm going to be taking this week off to really focus on getting myself back to health because there's no point in me coming on here and sacrificing myself if I can't return back to my normal health. I need to get my health back. And today was kind of that breaking point where I had to make that decision because I had to make the call that I can't go to Consensus. So that's a tough call to make. That was a hard thing to do because there's a lot of people there that I know that are going to be there that I wanted to see and hang out with and meet. And I think we'll all be okay if I take a couple of days off to focus on getting myself back to normal. And if we do have a breakdown in Bitcoin that goes below $27,000, I will come in and check in with you guys. But as long as we're still in here, as long as we're hanging out in this range, I think we'll be okay. And as for the altcoin market, if we see the altcoin market excluding Bitcoin and excluding Ethereum, as long as it's holding there above $360 billion, we're still just doing what we've seen these things do. Those are really all the levels that we can point to from history to say, those were supportive levels, those things all held. If they don't hold, it might point to much deeper pricing happening here in the cryptocurrency market, which none of us want, but if that's what it is, then that's what it is. But as long as we're holding on top of them, there's not much to say while we wait for them to hold or not. And same goes for XRP. So I'll be watching from the sidelines on what's going on over there at Consensus. And hopefully we get some really amazing things come out of this. And as many of you probably know, today is the big day for the SEC versus Ripple case in which we can call in and listen to what happens in regards to the internal documents related to Hinman's emails and his speech from June 14, 2018, which is scheduled for 3 p.m. Eastern Time, 2 p.m. Central Time, and 12 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And for those who are international, UTC time, it's 1900. Here are the numbers to call in, and here's the access code to get in there so you can listen to it live as that hearing is going on for the SEC versus Ripple. And it was something people are pretty excited about, so I'll listen in on this too. And this is today. And today there was also the release of the Senator Loomis crypto bill draft, in which Jeremy Hogan chimed in and says he thinks that the bill is strikingly broad, reporting, taxes, brokers, etc. are all under its umbrella, It's much better than status quo. It carves a niche for the digital assets that are subject to SEC oversight if they are investment contracts. But even if a digital asset falls under SEC oversight, the reporting requirements aren't onerous. At least it's possible that a crypto company could fulfill the reporting requirements, unlike now. In summary, I like it. It tries and mainly strikes a nice balance, in my opinion. So that's something good that has happened today, hopefully. Hopefully we get something good out of the SEC versus Ripple case today, and hopefully we get something good coming out of consensus this week. So there's things to look forward to this week, but as we still range, I just wait. I can definitely say I don't like how eerily similar this is looking in here right now, but I do also know this was like a complete mirrored fractal from back in 2018, and we have shifted onto a new phase. So looking similar, yes, but is it really repeating the same exact fractal for a second time? That would be something I haven't seen before in this market, but definitely not liking the way it's looking right now compared to what we've seen happen before. But still, it's completely hard to say when the price is really just in the dead middle of the entire range that it's been in for 29 days. So still just have to wait on it and see how it's going to do. In the end, take out the entire channel that's been there for 3 years, along with the altcoin market taking out that level down in there in the 380s. If we're looking at the total altcoin market cap, including Ethereum, looking at like the 540s, take those out, then things don't look good for the cryptocurrency market. But right now, it is still technically just a range, and I'll just have to keep waiting on it. If we get the breakdown, I'll come in and check in with you guys. And if we get the breakdown over here on XRP, I'll check in with you guys as well. But otherwise, all these things are still holding currently. And it's time for me to focus on me for just a minute while we're still just ranging in here. But today, it's the big day over here for SEC versus Ripple with the call-in. Again, write these numbers down if you want. This is at 3 p.m. Eastern Time, 2 p.m. Central, 12 p.m. Pacific Time, and 1900 UTC. And until some dramatic action comes in, you guys, I'll catch you in the next one. And I want to thank you so much for watching my channel. If you could, please like this video and give it a thumbs up. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe and hit the notification bell so you can be notified of when I create new content and when I go live. As always, this is not investment advice, and I am not a financial advisor. But if you ever need a pick-me-up or a little bit of reassurance, just remember that the blockchain backers got your back. Have a good one.